F1 Philosophy is back for some more preseason talk here today. Last year we did over-unders. This year we're doing toss-up. We will have an over-under section coming up, but we wanted to give some toss-up questions today to do maybe a new trend or a new annual. I can't speak English apparently. A new annual thing that we do before each preseason. So, Sean, toss-up is just basically speculation. I'm going to ask a question or a scenario that is a talking point going into 2026, and I'm going to ask you, what do you think? So there's no right answers. It's just all about speculation. I got this game from Pardon the Interruption, which is a great sports talk show that you used to see on ESPN. It's Michael Wilbon, Tony Kornheiser, to everybody listening. They do this very well, and I thought, you know what? I think you and I can do it really well. And if you guys try and sue us, I don't have an address, so good luck with that. You ready, Sean?
I am, yeah. Let's do it.
Okay. Toss up. Who's more likely to stay at Cadillac for 2027? Valtteri Bottas or Sergio Perez?
It's a tricky one. I'm going to say Bottas. I'm going to say Bottas strictly from a personality standpoint. He took on the adopted persona of an Aussie for no good reason, really. I think he's going to be someone who fits in with the GM crowd and all the other nonsense that's going on over there. And I think they're just going to latch on to him and his energy, and they're going to go for it, regardless of the results.
This might shock you, but I 100% agree. Because I've been talking a lot of shit about him. My thought process with this is, like, obviously I think the right answer is Perez, but my thought process is Bottas is going to have a hotter start, I think. And I think by the time Sergio catches up because Sergio's real gift is growth with the car and understanding what's wrong with the car. And I think by the time Perez catches up, it might already be too late. Like you said, based on media perspective, Bottas might just be so lovable at this point that they're going to re-sign him, and they may already re-sign him by the time Perez catches up. And that's what I think. I think long-term Bottas is terrible, but I think in this instance, for the first 6 months, I think he might do just enough to keep him for 27, and might be at the expense of Perez. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say I can picture the Cadillac commercials right now. It's going to be Valtteri Bottas in a Cadillac Lyric or Escalade, whatever it is, simply because I can't picture them putting Sergio Perez in there.
No.
Right?
You're right. Yeah.
One way or the other, it's going to be Bottas.
Bottas is Hunt.
Frankly.
And Perez is Lauda. That's how I would say it. Yeah.
I was just going to say that I think ultimately both of them stay there in 27, but I think we hear about Bottas first.
Yeah, I agree with that. If they're smart, they'll keep both. Unless Perez really shits an egg.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one. Who do you think is under more pressure this season? Mattia Binotto or Adrian Newey?
Mattia Binotto. Because he has no stake in the team.
Okay.
He's the team principal. He is working with a bunch of Germans who want results. And they've set a target of 2030, which I think was a surprise to everybody when he announced that in the fucking car reveal. I don't think anybody expected him to say that. Not Binotto, the president of Audi, or the CEO of Audi. So I think that caught Binotto off, and a lot of what I heard about the reveal was Binotto backpedaling those comments.
Of course.
So I think he's going to be the one under more scrutiny, because everybody seems to have forgotten that part of Adrian Newey's contract is ownership in the team. He has a stake in the team as part of his contract with them, and he's the team principal. So yes, I'm sure Lawrence Stroll could buy him out of it, but it's going to be a lot harder to do that than it is to kick Mattia Binotto to the curb.
What you said is right, but I'm thinking from a media perspective. If this car is not good in 2026 and Newey gets it wrong, the Alonso fans, which is every F1 media personality across the globe for some reason, are going to put a spotlight on him because he didn't deliver Alonso the championship car that he needed. And it might take a chunk out of his reputation. You're right. Like maybe the pressure won't get him fired ever because he has a stake in the team. But will it ruin him? I wonder.
It won't. And this is my opinion. You're entitled to yours. Newey has the same following and the same reputation as Alonso. Everybody thinks that Newey, everything he touches turns to gold. But he's been in the sport since the 80s, since the early 80s. Not every car that he's designed has won a championship. There are big noticeable gaps in his history. And it's not to say he's bad. He's very good at what he does, and there's reasons for what happens. But it's the same thing. Sometimes he makes a mistake. He's not always the one designing the car. He's the one leading the team, putting everything in place, yada, yada, yada. But ultimately, there are people out there who think just because it's Adrian Newey, he's untouchable. And I like the guy, and I think he's a genius. But he has made mistakes before, and we've seen it in recent history. But everybody conveniently pushes that to the side. Just like they conveniently pushed the last 20 years of Alonso's career to the side. Right? Mm-hmm. So I agree that might become a talking point, but I think at the same time they're going to battle with, oh, it's not Newey, it's not Alonso, it has to be Stroll. Stroll's the problem here.
That's a really good point. It's like the two fandoms. It's an unstoppable force and an immovable object. That's a good point.
And they meet at a Stroll.
Yeah. That's all he's good for.
Yeah.
All right, next one. Who's more likely to rise up in the constructors, now or in the future? Aston Martin or Alpine?
What does Alpine have going for it?
Mercedes engine.
At this point, I wouldn't. Right. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if they rolled up with last year's chassis and some 2026 bits added to it. Right? Like, that's the level of enthusiasm I have over Alpine these days. Obviously, there's reasons why they can't do that, but we got Aston Martin in 7th last year.
Yes.
And Alpine in last. They have the Mercedes engine. They already seem like they're doing okay, and there have been some comments from Alpine defending Mercedes, which kind of makes me think there is something there, and Alpine knows it, and they just don't want anything to happen so they can milk it. It's not hard to recover from 10th, especially with new constructors on the grid. Recovering from 7th, I think, is a lot harder. It's an exponential climb the higher you go, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say it's Alpine.
Now Alpine, yes. In the future, I would say Austin. I think there's a good structure in place. They just need to get rid of their drivers.
Yeah.
I want to just say something about that Alpine thing because it's brilliant. And I've been thinking about it, and I keep forgetting to say it here. If they punish Mercedes, they should punish Alpine because you're right. I think Alpine knew going in, and that's why they switched and abandoned the Renault engine. Like, they shouldn't punish Williams and McLaren. That's not fair. They're just customers. But Alpine, I think, knowingly did what they did, knowing that there was a trick.
That's conspiracy theory, Nick, talking, but
yes,
they would not have known that far out because they made that switch over a year ago.
I think
close to a year ago.
End of 2024. Red Bull was already stealing Mercedes engineers. It might have been known in the paddock at that point.
But they would have just had preliminary concepts of an engine. They were not allowed to work on it prior to that. So,
Briatore is a cheater then. That's how I'll finish that comment.
I mean, he did get banned from F1 for a while, so.
Right. Okay, next one. Well, this is a spicy one. Who's more likely to retire at the end of this season? Fernando Alonso or Lewis Hamilton?
Max Verstappen? Um, it has to be Fernando. I really don't have any other justification than he needs to get the fuck out of there.
He's old. He's delusional. Yeah, I think that delusion might keep him another season if there's any hope. If this is,
it's not even that he's old, right? Like people use his age, and yeah, age is a thing, and he's the oldest F1 driver in history at this point. But fuck, he's just not that good. Like, do you really want to go out at the end of your career this bad?
he's delusional, and the media keeps pumping his tires. He's never going to figure that out.
Yeah.
That's why I think it might be Hamilton. Because if this is not a spectacular season, I think that there will be more calls to get him out of there. And I think he takes it more personally than Alonso does. He's more in tune to media conversation than Fernando is. Fernando's just in his own head all the time, thinks he's the best at everything, and waits to hear things that back that up. Lewis, I think, is pensive. And if it's not perfect, I think he might walk away before Fernando does.
Yeah, I mean, is Hamilton's contract up this year?
Next year.
Yeah, so I don't see him retiring out of contract.
It's a +1, though, so it's an option.
But for the exact same reasons that you mentioned, I think that keeps him in there. Because it's a new regulation, because it's a +1, because he's already made some encouraging noises about they're better to drive. Not that the Ferrari is good to drive, just that the cars, these 2026 cars, are better to drive than the last ones. I think he'll stick it out. That's my opinion.
I hope you're right. All right, next one. Who's more likely to get sacked, as in fired from their team and their position? Liam Lawson or Franco Colapinto? That's a tough one.
It is a tough one. Colapinto's got like a 5-year reserve driver contract, doesn't he?
Yeah, but
that's how he was originally hired into Alpine.
Yes.
And it's Briatore. So what are his options? They've lost Doohan. Doohan went to Haas.
Mm-hmm.
Who's filling that gap?
Paul Aaron, and then your guess is as good as mine.
Is Paul Aaron still on their books?
I think, yeah, he's the reserve. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, then it might be Colapinto, because Aaron's quite good.
Yeah, people forget that.
Yeah. No, Aaron was very impressive. If Colapinto is as useless as he was last year, then it's got to be him.
Yeah. I think Red Bull owes Lawson a year. That may be it, but I think Red Bull owes him that. And I think Franco is more likely to go if things go, like if he's pointless by mid-season. That's more I'm thinking.
I think with Lawson at Racing Bulls, there's no reason to fire him. There's no reason to get rid of him. Who do they have to put in that place?
Exactly. Nobody.
All right. They have Iwasa, which I don't know that they're keen on promoting Iwasa. So I think they're waiting for some of their F3 and karting concepts to come through, or prospects, not concepts, to come through. So I don't really see any reason why Lawson would lose a place as long as he's coming close to scoring points.
We'll see if that's the case. All right, you ready for the next one?
Mm-hmm.
Who has more to prove this year? Isaac Hadjar or Kimi Antonelli?
That is a tough one. On one hand, you have Kimi trying to prove that last year wasn't a one-off just because of the car. Now you've got a new challenge. Can he do it properly? But then you have Isaac in that dreaded second Red Bull seat next to Max in a reg change. I'm going to have to say it's Hadjar. If he can break that second seat curse, then he's got, a very long career in front of him as a multi-time world champion. So that's my answer.
You're right, but that's why I think I'm going to go Kimi. Because that seat is so cursed, I think this year is like, if we're trending, if there's trends, or if it's like a stock, this is the bottom of that stock. I think Red Bull realized, okay, we just got to go easy on him this year, no matter what happens. We got to encourage him. We have to help him. We can't expect the world like they did with Lawson, Yuki, Pierre, Sergio. I think this year they finally realized that, and they have a different team principal who's going to nurture that and go, it's okay. Just do what you need to do. Max has got this. We're here to help. Whereas with Antonelli, Sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to say it's a drastically different team.
Yes.
So, yeah. Sorry, you were saying.
Whereas with Kimi, he's the golden boy, right? He's the next Max Verstappen. And
allegedly.
Yes, allegedly. And there's a lot of talk from Toto. And there's even like the media saying, oh, is there going to be a title fight between him and George? And it's like, okay. That's a lot of pressure. That's a lot to prove. Down. Yeah, exactly. Oscar was not fighting for the championship in year 2. Oscar improved. I'm relating him more to Oscar, I think. That's the better comparison than Max. But just to finish my point, it's for that reason that it's going to be harder for Kimi, I think, to live up to that than Isaac to live up to what is a horrible situation. But yeah.
Yeah. If Toto is talking about a title fight between George and Kimi, it's because he knows that they've got something in that engine they shouldn't, and that they're probably handicapping their customer teams.
That's interesting.
So, we're just putting that out there, not to start a conspiracy or anything.
That's going to make Melbourne extra spicy. That's a good point, Sean. Okay. This is clearly a question written by Nick, but I would like you to answer it anyways. Who's more likely to flop this season? George Russell or Lando Norris?
I know the answer you want. And I'm not going to give it to you because I really do think it's Russell. You know how I feel about Russell.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, there's talk that he's going to be fighting for the championship. He's the champion-elect, and I love what you said last episode. Just don't, everybody. Just don't call him the title favorite. We don't have to.
There's no evidence of it.
Exactly. You don't just...
He topped one day of preseason testing.
Yeah, exactly. So this is actually a tough one, right? Because you're right. Like, Russell has all that pressure, I guess, on him already. But Norris is the defending champion. But I don't think anybody expects him to do it again. I think everybody knows it was kind of like defending champion with an asterisk.
Yep.
So as I talk it out, I think like it's Russell's more likely to flop because everybody's saying he's going to win. There's nowhere to go but down. And it's very likely he'll go down from winning. That's my opinion, and I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, I see why. The McLaren did look good. Typical testing caveats aside, it did look like it was a well put together car. So we'll see.
Yeah, but then that favors Oscar. And if they just let Oscar be, he's more than likely going to be the best of the two.
Yeah. Also, Oscar has less time in, let's say, traditional F1 hardware. Less bad habits, less reliance on the systems we talked about. So
that's a good point. Yeah, closer to F2. So, yeah, there you go. Good point. All right, next. Who's more likely to be a disappointment this season? Williams or Haas?
I don't want to say it because I really want Toyota to get good feelings for F1, but I think it's going to be Haas. I really want Haas to do better than I think they're going to do because I want Toyota to get real hot and horny for F1. But out of those two options, I think it's going to be Haas that is more of a disappointment. Yeah, Williams had a good finish last year in 5th, and I just listened to our recap episode. They were in 5th basically the entire season, so they really deserve to be there. And to be disappointing from that position, I think is going to be harder than Haas being a disappointment. I can't really... Yeah, I think it's just me wanting Haas to do better to see Toyota come in.
I think what you're saying is there's less room for Williams to fall than Haas. Like Williams is in a really good position. It's going to be harder for them to fall.
Yeah, it's kind of along that exponential growth curve, right? Williams is smack dab in the middle of it. It's going to take a lot for them to go up, but it's going to take almost as much for them to go back a reasonable amount.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Haas is still at the bottom of that curve. So they can go up pretty quickly, but really any step back is a big step back.
Mm. I want to just piggyback on what you said because I do want to see Toyota as well. And I think it's Haas too, because I think if you're Toyota, if you see a good concept, like a good aero package, which allegedly they helped since 2024, they helped build. They've been giving Haas pointers. I don't know if that's true or not, but if the Ferrari engine is shit, Toyota goes, you know what? We could have done a better engine. And that might get them hot and horny to come into F1 if the package, like if the aero package is good. So like I'm agreeing with you from the other side. Like a bad season might entice Toyota to come in.
Yeah, no, I'm exactly with you. And people think I'm ridiculous for thinking Toyota is going to come in. They already have a hybrid V6 race engine that they've been running for a decade.
Oh wow.
They know this technology. Yes, it's not the same as an F1 engine, but it's really not that far removed. They can do this. And with how much they're putting into the Haas team, to me, this is a direct indication that they want in. So I agree with that statement.
Wow. All right. Next question. Who's in a tougher spot with their team? Charles Leclerc or Oscar Piastri?
Those are not the drivers I would have chosen.
Well, because I'm thinking like Leclerc's kind of worn his welcome out, and he might be on the way out of Ferrari. And my thought is Piastri is kind of stuck, needing to take charge of McLaren. And whose situation would you rather have in that sense?
I'd rather have Piastri's situation because I think McLaren at least recognizes that he's a good driver. And that with the two of them, they're going to get constructors. So I think Leclerc is in the worst situation. But that being said, I don't think he's going anywhere. I think even if Fred wants him gone, Mr. Agnelli there is going to override him.
That's a good point. Yeah, my instinct is to say Oscar because it's going to be tougher to get rid of that stink, a la what Max said. He said once you let them give you team orders, they'll always give you team orders. I'm paraphrasing what Max said at the end of last season. And actually, I'm going to stick with that. Yeah, I actually would not want Oscar's situation because you're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't from this point forward. Leclerc can just leave.
Can he though? I have a feeling if Leclerc leaves Ferrari, he's gone. If Leclerc leaves Ferrari, he's Nico Hülkenberg.
Wow, that's a hot take. It's a good point.
Who's going to pick him up?
Allegedly Austin.
Red Bull's not going to take him.
Red Bull won't. Yeah, allegedly Austin. But they got to get rid of two drivers, right? Because you don't want to be paired with Stroll. But even
Toto's not going to take him.
No. Yeah, as much as he pretends that he would. Yeah. You're going backwards.
Ferrari doesn't even have what they've got at this point 2 customer teams, so they can't play that card. So okay, maybe Haas takes him, but is that really what he wants out of his career?
This is a tough one. Who would you have said are the 2 drivers are in a tougher spot with their team?
Albon and Ocon.
Fuck, that's really good. Yeah, okay. Let's wax poetic that one. That's a really good one. Yeah, I didn't even think of those 2. What do you think? Yeah, what do you think between those 2?
I mean, for Komatsu to come out last week and say we expected more out of Ocon was not a glowing endorsement, to say the least. I don't know that they're going to replace him with Jack Doohan anytime soon, but holy fuck. That just to not even have the season started and your team principal to be saying that isn't going well. And then Albon, I mean, Vowles has been pretty clear. He likes both of his drivers. But I think from what we saw with Sainz last year and the drop off that we saw from Albon, it's only a matter of time before we start hearing talk of his exit. So,
Yeah, that one's a tie. Because with Albon, if you're not growing, you're dying. If you can't keep up with Carlos, there's nowhere to go.
yeah.
And Ocon, how do you rectify this without having you have to have an amazing season now, and I don't think he's capable of it.
But I mean, that pressure at this point, now we're into peak Ocon territory. He's going to go out there and fight Ollie because that's the only thing he knows how to do.
And in a sick, perverse way, maybe that's what Haas needs. They need that version of Esteban, even though if it might destroy Ollie, they'll get the most out of Esteban. Bon. Yeah, that's a tough one. Good one, Sean. Very good one. All right. Last one. Who's more likely to win the drivers this season? Oscar Piastri or Max Verstappen?
It's too hard to tell. I mean, for all the complaining that Max can do about Formula E on steroids, all of this comes back to video games. Like, right? The complexity in these cars and what we can do with active aero and everything else is going to favor people who are more tech savvy, more into doing things that shouldn't be possible. Right? Like I'm having a hard time putting it into words. But if anybody is going to get on it, it's the guy who in his spare time sits in front of a computer with a controller and does the exact same thing he does on the track. Right? Pushing buttons and thinking through all this complex work should be nothing for Max Verstappen.
Yeah.
So this regulation set shouldn't be an issue. The same point, Oscar Piastri is very cool, very calm, has proven that he operates on a different frequency. He should be able to do the same thing. Hey, Oscar, here's the user manual for your new car. Get used to it. Go out there and drive as fast as you can. And it should be no problem to him because he's shown that he can take in everything that's happening around him very quickly and come to decisions before they need to be made. So I would say Max probably has the edge just from what we know from Max, but it would surprise me if it wasn't the two of them at the top the entire season.
Agreed. You forgot, like you said, video games at the end of every race weekend. Also, live GT series in his month off. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it's him is more likely, but I would, like you said, I wouldn't count out Oscar just yet.
No.
Yeah. All right. That was Toss Up. I hope you guys liked it. Did you have fun, Sean?
Yeah, it was a good way to get through it.
Yeah. All right. That was another part of our preseason series. We'll be back with some more. We still have over-unders to do and our predictions.
All right.